2005, it was houses only, primary residence. And that's the way it is today. If there's a road involved at all, it's not eligible. If the road's washed out. It's recommended that the municipality go to FEMA to get that money. So, at this point, we are still looking at, hopefully, to get some money to do the work.
Are you going to take questions or not yet?
That's up to...
What's that now?
She asked me if I take questions.
Up to you, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I'm just curious, since the majority of the damage happened to the T-wall in 2004 and 2005, if you were to apply for damage that didn't really happen in June to the wall, wouldn't that be fraudulent on behalf of the borough?
No, it's not. And USDA is not going to
It's federal money, though, and federal money, it clearly states in the FEMA rules that you have to apply for damage that occurred in the storm when it happened. So does the USDA doesn't have to follow those rules?
That's FEMA, and USDA said to leave it on the list. They're aware of it. They know it.
So where was the NRCS in 2004 and 2005 when we looked for a pocket, for the last council looked for a pocket of money?
Because there was FEMA money.
So there was FEMA money, but why, if it's federal money, I mean, you explained this to me. We had a contractor. Now the borough is...
Let's go back to just a simple question.
Since FEMA was, that's the other thing the U.S. Department, all the agencies do that. But FEMA was the primary funder at that time. And that's what USDA received. And actually in the grant agreement, when the borough or municipality signs that agreement, it asks if there's any other funding committed to a project. If there's other funding committed to the project, it doesn't matter whether it's John Doe down the street donating money or other federal money, then they'll reduce it by that amount. If FEMA is going to do the project, and at that time they were, then USDA says, well, we're not going to do it.
Bob, you came up in April of 2005.
Yep.
One of your first things that you said that I heard, you've repeated tonight, the phrase catastrophic failure of a design system. Obviously that was. And when I put my FEMA rep, Bob Monroe, the project agent, together with DEP and USDA, I said, I don't have answers to a lot of your questions, Bob. Here are the adults from the real agencies that do, because they funded it the last time around. I'd love to get somebody to pay for this wall. Bob came back to me and said, the other agencies are not going to participate financially this time around. And what you said tonight indicates that 2004, 2005, the ruling was, we're only going to work with you if it is a full-time residence, nothing else.
Right.
And Bob Monroe continued and said, I'm standing here in front of you as FEMA. We're going to take care of it this time.
I can't answer for FEMA. I'm still trying to figure out FEMA. Every time we have a disaster, their reactions are different. I mean, talking to municipalities and listening to municipalities, you have one municipality that gets $20,000 and has $100,000 in damage. You have another municipality that gets $200,000. I haven't figured out FEMA. I'm not sure. In the past, I mean, it's the other thing I've always thought with FEMA is they do not usually do work on private property unless it's a primary access to a residency because of health and safety. There's been a case where FEMA's paid for replacing a bridge because it was the primary access to that residence, and they have funded that. But if it's an agricultural field and access down a road, it doesn't qualify. Typically, if it's stream bank, it does not qualify. Which, when I heard FEMA said they were going to do that back in 2005, I was really quite surprised.
Okay. In '96, it's either Ted Griner or Tim Griner. I can never remember.
Tim. It's Tim.
No,
it's Ted.
It's Ted. Ted was the gentleman that came up and did the on-site work, going from hotel room to hotel room.
Yep.
He'd never used a T-wall section in his life. It was his supervisor, Robert Gibson, that suggested this material. But obviously, between cup and lip, something didn't get translated because there's no horizontal holdback in this wall. Never was.
Yeah,
And
we didn't inspect
every
that.
contractor that we have talked to that looked at that after it broke open like a bunch of broken teeth said, "Where's the horizontal holdback? This wall was doomed to failure right from the start." And the PennDOT people that have come up here have said, DEP engineering a project? That's not the best idea in the world. So again, there's this circle of agencies. I'm not trying to embarrass anybody in this room. I'm
No,
trying to illuminate.
and I mean, I don't work for any of those agencies, so,
We all get talked into a circle.
yeah. I mean, it's basically what you have at your access at that time. And at that time, you had Ted Greiner from DEP and Robert Gibson. It was the first time that they used them. And I believe DEP did the inspections on that site, if I recall correctly, or NRCS did.
But a covered earth inspection would have had no knowledge whether the horizontal was in there or not.
Yeah.
They just came up and looked at something covered.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't out doing inspections at that time. But the status of it now is that it is on our list. Our hopes are that we get funding, that we can come up and have DEP look at it, do the assessment, and hopefully fund it.
But if the funding doesn't come through, and then the borough has already given back funding that FEMA has approved, and is now possibly open to a lawsuit from the contractor, because they did sign a contract to have the creek wall rebuilt, what's going to happen to Starrucca Borough then?
We just got that
Can't
new bridge in there, and
Yeah.
that's what backwashing behind that new bridge.
And this past weekend, the water was much higher than it's ever been because the borough never cleared out the T-wall sections, even though DEP sent them a letter on January 31st giving them 14 days to remove the debris.
Call DEP.
We have,
Right.
over and over and over. We've written letters.
I mean, I can't, and we can't rehash, I can't rehash what's happened in the past. I think we gotta, to me, I wanna look towards the future, try to get the thing done. Hopefully, the money comes around. I cannot imagine that the federal legislators are gonna deny everybody in southern tier New York, from Bradford County, Pennsylvania, all the way down to Philadelphia in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, funding to repair these streams. I just can't imagine. And unfortunately, I think we're going to end up doing work in the winter, but